Hello STC, it's Mr. Baumgarten here, and today's video is going to be using Shapr3d to create some joins. When you've got multiple pieces you want to link together without having to use super glue. How can we kind of snap it together Lego style or something like that? So I've got my empty project here. I've got my units set to millimeters, and I might just lock it in to 1mm grids, and then I have got snap to grid turned on with snapping hints turned on. Alright, so let's zoom out. That's my center point, there it is. Let's zoom in on that and hit top, hit my space bar. Okay, now all of these prints all of these designs, I'm going to print up so that you can take a look at them and see what you think of them, what you like for your particular project. So I'm going to start by drawing a couple of 5cm blocks that we can practice joining together. So 5, 5, 5. Oops, that didn't go all the way. Okay, that's one, and then I'll draw another one over here, and we'll extrude these out and join them together. Alright, so if I just zoom in and pull sideways, I've got the extrude option, and when I select it, I'm going to come up 4 mils, then I'm going to bring this one up 4 mil as well. Alright, and now the first thing I'm going to do is kind of take a slice out of both of them so that I can have my join accounted for as well, because I want these to kind of sit together as if they were one flat 4 mil piece. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, if I click on this and hit space, right, I am now drawing on this surface. And so I'm going to come in about 1.5 centimeters from this edge where I want to do the join. Let's just zoom out. Alright, there's my line there. And I'm going to do the same on the other one, but this I'll show you a different technique rather than just using the line tool. Alright, I can click on this edge, so make sure that it's the edge that's highlighted in blue. I don't want the side, I don't want that side, it's the edge itself that I want. And then I'm going to come here to offset edge, and this allows me to just type in a nice exact number for how much I want the line to come in. And the reason I'm going to use this is because instead of just being 1.5 mil, oh sorry, 15 mil, which is 1.5 centimeters, I'm going to make it 1.52. Oops, so 15.2 mils. So generally I've noticed that, yeah, allowing about 0.2 of a millimeter of tolerance seems to work quite nicely for having pieces snap together. You can't have 0 tolerance because the pieces it'll be too tight and it won't fit together. You need to have a little bit of a gap, but you don't want so much gap that then the join is loose. So it's a delicate balancing act. But 0.2 of a mil seems to work well. Right, so I've got this. Now I'm going to bring this back down 2 mil. And I'm going to bring this down 2 mil. Right. So the idea is going to be that one piece kind of fits on top of the other. So we'll rotate this one upside down later on. Right. But first of all, I'm going to draw some points onto these edges. So I've highlighted it, clicked my spacebar to make it the active drawing level, and now I'm going to draw a couple of rectangles here. I'm just going to make it 10 by 5. And I'll do another one down here. Alright, and then on this one I'll do the same. I'll come in and space it out the same. Alright, so it was 5mm in from the edge. Like that. And then again over here. But again, I need to have that 0.2 of a mil of tolerance between the two of them. So before I extrude, I'm going to adjust. Let's adjust this one. All right, and so what I'm going to do here is I'll come back to offset edge. All right, and here I can just say 0.2 of a mil. Come in, and you can see that that's actually grown out 0.2 of a mil. I want it to go in 0.2 of a mil, this one, so I'm actually just going to flip it the other way, or you could just type in with the negative sign. So just keep an eye on which way it moves the lines for you. So again, let's do the same here. Offset the edge, bring it in 0.2 of a mil. Perfect. And if I want, I can now get rid of the outer rectangle. Perfect. All right, and now all I need to do is my final extrusions. So what I'm going to is playing up. Okay, so I'm going to click that. All right, and extrude that out of the way, 2 mils. Extrude that out of the way, 2 mils. I now have a couple of holes there. This one I'm going to extrude up 2 mils, and extrude that up 2 mils. Right, and that's done. Right. What we'll see now is two pieces that can snap together really nicely and easily. All right, that's design number 1. Let's move on and do our second join method. Our second one, we'll do a kind of a similar one, but we'll put kind of like jigsaw teeth on it. So I'll do the same again. I'll sketch a couple of rectangles. Excuse me. Oh, got that size wrong. Let's just do that again. 5 by 5. Alright, and I'm going to start doing the same as I did with the first design. We'll come up 4 mil. Bring this one up 4 mil. Let's come in from this edge 1.5 centimeters or 15 mil, and come in from this edge 15.2 mil. Extrude you down 2 mil. Extrude you down 2 mil. Alright, so very similar kind of design, except now let's put some jigsaw pieces on this. So it kind of just locks into place. And so what I'm going to do is, again, you just have to make sure you're consistent with how you space this out. So if I come in, so I'm down 1 centimeter, and I'm going to come in 5 mil, but we'll go up 2 mil. Alright, a couple of jigsaw teeth like that. Alright, produce the same on the other side. So what does it come in 5 and up 2. Now I just have to remember to offset. So let's take that. Where am I? To offset the edge. 0.2. Right, yeah, that gives me what I want. Well, it depends on whether this is going to be the gap or the plug. Let's go the other way. Just so that it matches what I've got in my first design. Alright. So this can come down 2 mil. Nope, down, not up. Can come down 2 mil. Alright, and this, before I grow it just out, just note that the design is not quite right, because these aren't coming all the way to the edge. So I need to fix that up first. So I'm just going to hit the space bar and zoom right in, and I'm just going to draw a couple of little lines here. Same over here. Well, so then while I'm here, let's also just trim out the lines that I no longer need. So I don't want that one, and I don't need those. Alright, that piece is ready. Let's do the same to this one. Zoom right in, sketch a line, put the space bar. It seems to have lost the surface. Okay, line from there. Come on, come. I want an exact. There we go. Okay, and remove the lines that I don't need, which is that one. Alright, and now these can extrude up 2 mil. And so I have a couple of jigsaw piece style teeth to kind of make my join happen. Alright, so there's 2 different designs so far. Of ways that you can clip pieces together. Alright, what happens if you are wanting to kind of join a piece together perpendicular? So you've got a flat piece and then you're wanting to join something on a 90-degree angle or something like that. So let's have a go at figuring something like that out. So again, let's go put it to our top view, hit the space just so that we know we're dealing with the bottom plane. And again, I'll draw let's come in a little. Squares again. All right, so this time I want this piece to kind of insert itself into this piece. So let's make this one. Let's make that a good 1 centimeter. Right, and then the piece we're going to join it onto is our flat surface. We'll stick with 4 mils there. Alright, so this one needs a plug and we need a hole kind of here in the middle somewhere. So I'm going to just click on that. Let's insert in a couple of holes in the middle. Okay, so we'll stick with the same kind of format. So hang on, that's 1 centimeter thick. So here, that means in the middle piece here, if I want something that's going to be 1 centimeter thick, that's going to take up that space there. And I'll give it a couple of so I might make the hole just, it'll be easier to make the hole slightly larger, so in terms of that 0.2 mil of tolerance. So I'm going to do the offset edge on this piece and grow that out 0.2 mil. Do the same down here, offset this 0.2 mils. Get rid of the inner one in both cases. And I can just make the holes here. Done. Right, so now on here I kind of need the plugs to go into the holes. So I'm going to work on this side piece here. That's not what I want. Right, come in this way. Now we can see which surface I'm drawing on because I've got these purple dots, so I know that this is the surface that I'm drawing on. Right, so I had highlighted it and then hit the space bar, and that's what kind of made it my active drawing surface. But then because it gave me an angle I didn't like, I've just kind of moved my mouse around. But so long as those purple dots don't move, then that is the surface that I'm drawing on. And so again here I'm going to just create some lines. Extrude both of these out. Now the original surface, it's the surface that it's slotting into, is only 4 mil deep, right? But I'm going to come out how much do I want to come? Let's make it about make it 8. So what I'm going to do here, okay, so I've got a couple of plugs that can go into those holes. And it should be a reasonable join as it is. But then what I'm thinking is I'm going to put a hole in here so that when the plugs are poking through, I can feed like a piece of wire, maybe like a hair clip thing, or you know, a paper clip or something like that, through the hole that just kind of locks it in place so that it can't fall out. I hope that makes sense. Take a look at the printed design. If it doesn't, now let's zoom right out. That's kind of gone silly on me. This is what I'm wanting to draw on. There we go. So zoom in here. So 4mm is how wide the piece is that it's going into. So 1, 2, 3, 4mm, and then here. Actually, I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to leave my line, at least. The reason I came out 8 is because I'm going to create a 2mm hole, but I want here originally I was coming in 1mm off the edge, and that's not going to be strong enough. So, and really the hole only needs to be like 2mm by 2mm, just enough for a little bit of wire or something to poke through. That can be used to kind of lock it all into place. Do the same on the other one. Right, and then both of those can be extruded out to make a hole. And if I've done that right. Oh, come on. Yep, okay, so I've got holes there. Okay, so that should, right, that piece, flip it on its side, it'll poke through there, up to that point there, and then you can run a wire or a piece of string or something through it to block it from then pulling out on the other side. Right, that is 3 different join projects so far. Okay, and so for these next couple of designs, they're going to be kind of like if you've got some long tubes that you want to join together, yeah, maybe to run some wires or some plumbing through the middle or something like that. But basically 2 pieces you want to connect end on end. So let's create a couple of cylinders, because I'll also show you how you can kind of extrude little hooks off of that. So I'm going to start, let's just move this onto the right and draw a circle. Over here looks good. Right, and I'm just going to extrude that out 5 centimeters and make a copy. For the other half that we'll join together. Just push that over there. Alright. Probably should have done this before making the copy. Let's make it hollow. Offset the edge. We'll come down 3mm. Down 3mm, not out 3mm. And push that back. And then do the same on the other side. Alright, so I've got 2 pieces of tubing. Let's make it so that one can kind of slot into the other. So this one here, if I come in 1.6 down 1.6, exit, worse on this one. Uh, 1.6 that way, and come back 1 centimeter there. Right, so we've got 2 tubes and one should sit in the other quite nicely. And you know, for most purposes, like if you're just stacking one on top of the other, then that will probably do quite fine. But it might be nice to have like a locking mechanism so that one, you know, can't be pulled out without like a rotation or something like that. So we'll make another copy. And let's put a locking mechanism on this copy. Yeah. All right. So to do this, I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to draw what I want for a locking mechanism. So what have I got? I've got a centimetre of play. And this is 1 mil lines. So I'm going to come up. Let's come up the whole centimetre. So 6, 7. Mil, 3 mil. Alright, so 3 by 5. Alright, so what I've done, oops, zoom out. I've created a rectangle. Let's hide this other piece. Which is there. So I need to just move that so that it's outside of the cylinder. Alright, so that's that sketch. I need to move it outside of the cylinder. And then I'm going to come around on the underside. Alright, so this is obviously a bit more complex doing things this way. Alright, so it's kind of hovering there over my cylinder right now. Just kind of floating there in space. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the projection tool. So I'll click this and project it onto this. Done. Alright, and now you can see I've got a shape that's been shone onto my curved surface, which I can now extrude out. Right, and so I've just cut an L-shaped hole into my shape. And now if I get the other cylinder, let's just brighten this thing up. Alright, so right now I've got a hole there. Let's just turn that rectangle off. Alright, so you can see that. Alright, and that was 3 mil wide, 5 mil that way. So let's turn this other piece back on and put in the matching on this one. So zoom out. All right, and what I'm going to do on this is give it a 5mm by 3mm. Alright, where is that rectangle? Let's hide this other piece. Where is it? It's that one, so we'll just hide that for now. So I can just come down here, and now I want this sketch, I want to move it out of the way, above the thing, so that I can do the same. Alright, now let's get the projection tool for this one. Click that, project it onto this please. Thank you, done. And now I can just, let's hide that sketch, get that out of the way. And now this, I can extrude this up. I want that to be, yeah, all 20, like that. All right, and now if I turn the other piece back on, hopefully it makes sense what that is going to look like. Alright, so I've got a little locking bump on that one, which will fit in to the gap that I created there, and then you can kind of rotate it and it locks into place. Alright, and so that is a whole bunch of different ways of how you can make some joins in your 3D printing. This is Mr. Baumgarten signing off.